Hello, my beautiful friends. And I am just coming through for a couple of reasons. First of all, I just want to address that this has been a very turbulent time with a lot of major news stories going on. It is the way of the circle of light that we don't really get into super specifics about super specific storylines because our work is always about each person going into the storyline and finding the themes and the things that are hitting hardest for them and working with that energy and purifying the consciousness of that storyline through the heart center. Because what really happens at this time is a lot of information starts coming out, and then the mind really starts to have a chance to take a hold of us, take a hold of our consciousness, keep us wrapped up in, you know, intrigue and trying to figure it all out and trying to figure out who's the good guys, who's the bad guys, who did what, who did exactly what, who didn't do what, how do I feel about this, who's right, who's wrong. And in our work, this is what we call the mind creating the shiny toys. These are the energy-filled storylines that really distract us, keep us in our minds and away from focusing in the heart center. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am as guilty as anybody else for getting into that mind generated shiny toys. There's themes that are coming up for me in this current news cycle that I know I need to sit down and do my work with. But I just wanted to address that generally, that more than ever, when we're talking about transcending thresholds of creative consciousness into a place but that is beyond that old conditioning and programming of the mind, so we can actually create the 5D reality that's generated through the heart and not more of the same 3D reality with all its themes of, control and domination. Wherever you particularly see those themes represented in the major storylines, I've been working with clients for 21 years, and I'm telling you right now, everybody sees the same things, the same themes projected onto different people, different storylines, different part of the news cycle, different things going on in their lives. So the themes are always consistent. So when we know how to work with the themes, we're able to work with the major energy that's actually generating all this stuff. This is the energy in the matrix underneath that creates all those kind of horrible storylines that start to emerge that we want to have less of. And it is part of the pathway of mastery to not stay stuck in the mind, analyzing, trying to figure it out, going down the YouTube wormholes. Like I said, I'm guilty of this. I do it. I have a mind still. But then I will come back to being like, all right, I know my mind is pulling me out of my heart. I know that's because there's lots of energy here. And I actually need to bring all the energy that's wrapped up in these storylines, my projections on it, my thoughts, my feelings, my inner conflicts, my opinions, all of that stuff, and bring all of that energy back to the heart and go into submission, surrender, back into the heart and give all of this energy that we harvest from these storylines, these horrible storylines, to the heart to recreate something new, something that is beyond those themes of the mind. Remember, our minds only know how to create what they know. And that's why a lot of the times when we are trying to break through cycles, what we see is an emergence of more of the same, more of all this really gnarly stuff. And this is why the surrender, the submission into the heart is very important at this time, to not get so distracted or to find the stories that have charge for you and to bring them into the heart and do that surrender work. So I just wanted to share that and to remind you all that we're also doing a very powerful class coming up on Friday the 20th about the heart centering practice. As much as I want to engage in these storylines and talk about my opinions and my feelings about it, I have to stay true to the teachings of the circle, which is to say that the way through and beyond these kind of horrible storylines is not through arguing with each other how we're going to fix it, because we can see what that does over and over again, the repetition of the cycles, the strengthening of the polarity, but it is instead to do that work to bring the energy into the heart and surrender first. Let the heart give us that map, that blueprint of the new reality that we're trying to get to, that we're trying to actually create. So our next class, and there's a big reason why it is the next class, our next foundational acceleration pod is mastering the heart centering practice to navigate through these super turbulent times. And it's honestly perfect timing right now because this is, to me, is very similar as when the pandemic came around and everybody got super inflamed. And I truly believe this is part of our threshold resistance, but I remind you that we don't fix things with the things that create the problems. We have to go to a different source to bring in the new intelligence that will actually take all our creative energy and imprint it with the new programs that will actually generate something different. So if you're feeling really turbulent right now about what is going on, if you find yourself in your mind more, if your nervous system is feeling, dysregulated, it's a highly dysregulating time. So that heart centering practice is really so powerful to get us through these times of disruption and into the reality that we want to create. So please come and join us Friday, February the 20th. It's 8 a.m. Eastern Time, USA. It's 1 p.m. London time, Greenwich Mean Time. If you go to my website, you'll find plenty of links to find where it falls in the time zone for you. And it is one of the core foundational teachings of the Circle of Light and something they've been emphatic about for years. And it has guided me through a lot of these really turbulent times and honestly opened up, even though the times are turbulent, for me, some of the best times of my life because I really started heart centering. I want you to understand that people can be opening up energetically. People can be in what people call spiritual practices, but they are not heart-centered. And this is why we see the distortions happen in the spiritual community, in the consciousness community, because you can be open energetically and still be running through your mind, running energy through your mind. And that's where we get the distortions. That's where we get the weird readings. I don't like to diss on the spiritual community because that's been a little bit mindy, but it is a frustration for me when I see that the spiritual community itself is reinforcing storylines that will keep people focused in their minds and not guiding them to the points of liberation that will take humanity's consciousness through the veil and out of the program that generates all the suffering and the horrible story itself. A lot of people are talking about the shift in consciousness, but they can still be running energy through their minds. And this is why it's extremely important to practice heart centering. If you're opening up energetically, if you are working with clients, if you're trying to build a community, anything that you are doing, if you are not seated in the heart or practicing heart centering as much as you can, as energy is moving faster, and when you open up energy energetically and it's not as restricted by the egoic framework, energy starts to move faster and faster. This is where we get the massive distortions from, the extra meanings, the extra projections into the spiritual world, into the multidimensional. This is why heart centering is a vital practice. And many people who actually want to open up their spiritual gifts and abilities may actually be being held back from being able to do that yet because they lack the heart centering that will actually make opening up a stable experience for them. Because if your mind still has a whole bunch of polarities and trauma programs and things like that going on, when you open up spiritually, energetically, it starts to project out into that multidimensional world as well. So not only do we see the distortions in the behaviors that we perceive in our leaders, in our spiritual leaders, in our political leaders, in our you know, people of power generally who are not heart-centered often have these rises and falls because there's too much of their power energy flowing through, but it's still flowing through the mind where the distortions are. And this is why it may not sound as exciting as some of the other spiritual stories out there about who's doing what to who and where the bad forces are coming from and all that stuff. To me, a lot of that stuff is spiritual television. It's storytelling coming through the mind in spiritual vernacular. We have to come into the heart to transcend that spiritual storytelling so we can get to collectively creating the reality that is actually beyond those stories. Do we want to stay in the stories and in the juice of them, or do we want to get to a place where we have transcended that, where suffering is transcended? Personally, that is the work that we have been doing. That is my work. We may not be the most popular because heart centering, it's not as juicy and exciting, but remember, the mind loves that juicy, shiny toy storyline to keep us all, obsessed and focused in our minds and not in the place of our true creative power. So I wanted to bring forward that message and pass it on. It's very important. Now, the other thing I want to do really quickly here, I did a glow up giveaway. It was an end of year giveaway. And then I kind of extended it to give people a little bit more time to join in. We got a lot of entries, but we didn't quite hit the threshold of the number of people that we needed to do the full drawing. But I have decided to do a modified drawing to thank all the people who put in a lot of entries and really put their hearts into getting these wonderful Circle Evolution prizes. So I have like nearly 2,000 entries, but from a very devoted group of people who wanted. So this drawing is for you guys who put the effort in, did the surveys and did the things, and spread the word. We're going to do a modified drawing. So I'm going to be giving away an energy infused text at one of our boot camps, a full year of our new Circle Evolution University that at the full mentorship level. So that means you get all of the boot camps. We have 9 magnificent boot camps and growing. We have over 1,000 recordings in the Activation Gateway. You get access to all of that. You get access to our foundational mentorship our foundational acceleration pod every month, which is the class I have told you about, Mastering the Heart Centering, coming up on February 20th. You get access to that. You get access to all the replays of that. And you also get access to our full Monday Night Awakening program and discount one-on-ones. This is a super amazing membership. It's worth $880. And I'm very excited to see who's going to get that membership. And I am also going to be giving a one-on-one session with the Circle of Light as well, which is also super incredible. So I have all my numbers here. I have a random number generator here, which I'll be using to generate the numbers. You can see I have all the names here. Well, you can't see, but they're all there. I have meticulously tracked every single entry that I got, Instagram, Facebook, emails, clues that I put in my emails, all kinds of stuff. I know I'm crazy. It's been a lot of work, but I really wanted to honor and make sure that every single entry has been counted. And I thank you for all who have participated. And excited to see who's going to get these draws. So the first prize I'm going to give away is our energy infused text. This is a fun little kind of service that I do, where I discovered that I was able to like transmit a transmission through pictures and through texts. A lot of people say that when I send out my emails every month, they feel a lot of frequencies come out of that because I put a lot of the consciousness of what we're talking about into those emails, and people receive things directly through the transmissions that we put into the videos, the podcasts. But it actually works for photos and text itself. So I've been doing this for a few years. I did a fun experiment about it. I always make sure that anything that I'm saying I can do, I test it out, and people got pretty amazing results from just receiving these transmissions through those. I was just doing text, but now I like to pair it with one of the photos that I've taken from all the energy vortex areas that I've gone to throughout the States and throughout the world. I take a lot of photos and I use those photos to carry the transmission. So basically, you message me, you tell me what your problem is, your issue is, and I focus on your energy. I go through all my photos. Select the one that is that I'm drawn to send you, and then I put a transmission to in it, and then I text it off to you. And people see big shifts. I have them graded. I say, like, on a scale of 0 to 10, how important is this to you? And a lot of people really dropped pain, mental, emotional pain, stress levels, all that kind of stuff. So I have a whole thing about it on my website if you're curious. So this is for the energy infused text. And the number is, whoa, 1303. I don't know if you can see that. 1303. And that is going to, please bear with me. I wanted to do this live so you know that I'm doing it live. 1303. That is going to Loopy McGinty. Very cool. Okay. I know that name. That's wonderful. Congratulations, Loopy. All right. The next one I'm going to give away is one of our 9 premium boot camps. You can choose from any of them. There's so many amazing ones. Bend the Matrix is a really powerful one. Accessing your master consciousness integration, our original authentic positivity system. Now we have the sense of self boot camp in there. The fan frequency activate now for people who are in the music industry and want to focus on, or creative arts industries, want to increase their expansiveness. So a ton of amazing boot camps in there. You can choose whichever one you want. The number is 1990. Oh, that's fun. This is 1990. This is someone who came in on our Facebook thing. So this might be a 1990. Katie Ann. Katie Ann on Facebook. She um she marked herself as going on this event. And so she is a winner, chicken dinner. All right, our next gift. Oh, this is a good one. What should I do next? I'm going to do the annual subscription for the full mentorship level of our university. It is the university is incredible. You get all those boot camps, the 1,000 recordings in the Activation Gateway. I have been recording those, the Circle of Light transmissions, since about 2007. They cover anything you can imagine, down to body parts. There is, like, if you've got like sore feet, there's a recording in there. It's super extensive. They're the recordings from our Monday Night Awakening things, and every week there's new content coming in. So it's the living library of the work that we do. So here we go. 343. It's listing all the little numbers up here. I can't see it, but that's 343. And our winner chicken dinner for that is, this is going to be someone earlier. Claire Jones. Claire Jones. That is the full mentorship. Wonderful. And our final gift is the 1 hour session with the Circle of Light. I decided to give the Circle of Light a session because it is amazing. Working with the Circle of Light is really incredible. The frequencies that come through, the tools and the techniques that we've developed from working together, they move so much energy in a session. I'm also going to give you the Path to Mastery gift bag, because I give that Path to Mastery gift bag with the one-on-one sessions now, because it is so that we move so much energy. It's great to have all the integration tools that we include in that. So our winner chicken dinner of that is number 1901. Oh, let's have a look who that is. 1901. And we have what 1901. Like I said, we got a lot of entries. It was a devoted crew who were chipping away at all the opportunities. 1901, this will be a devoted Kimberly Henson, another Facebook person. All right. So she got the one-on-one session, and Kimberly, she did tag a bunch of people on Facebook and let them know. So her intention was strong and it has paid off. So that is wonderful. Well, thank you everybody who entered. I'll do another one of these another time. If you want to, please go check out all our work that we do, circleevolution.com. Check out our university. Let me do can I do a quick screen share without doing anything crazy here? Let me just show you. Oh, there I am live streaming. Um, okay, it's stopped. Oh, it's stopped the thing. Okay, there we go. Done. I'm just going to end it now. I'm not going to be able to show it, but please go to my website, circleevolution.com. If you want to work with me, the Circle of Light, come into our university. We are teaching people how to do that deep work of shifting your reality by going into the energetic frameworks that shape the storylines that we are part of in this collective experience. And there's plenty of storylines that we want to transcend and move beyond. And we're not going to do it through all the arguing in our minds and letting the mind control the ultimate thing. Everyone likes to point out this idea that they are controlling us. There's always the they are doing this, they are doing that. But we have to remember that the ultimate creator of our reality is the mind matrix mechanism that we have. And the way to rewrite that mind mechanism to create a new reality is first to go into the heart and to surrender and to say, okay, yeah, broader consciousness, help us rewrite this reality into a new set of stories that aren't governed by that survival consciousness that creates a lot of the corruption, the polarity, the illusions of separation, the decay and entropy of the body, all of these things. That's all the mind-generated stuff where we are in the process of transcending, but it comes first through that surrender, submission into the heart. And yeah, so please join us Friday the 20th. There's also, if you can't join us live, you can buy, if you're in the university at the foundational level above, you already get the class. If you're in at the core level, or if you're not in the university at all yet, you can buy a drop-in pass, pay what you can. I think there's an $11 minimum, pay what you can, or you can just buy the pass for $33 and you also get all the reminders and the replays. So I've created as many tiers as I possibly can to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to jump in on these calls. Please, if you just want more free stuff, check out our podcast, Spread Your Third Eye. We put in lots of information there. For those of you who want to know more about myself and the collective that I channel, the Circle of Light, go check out Spread Your Third Eye. Tons of material there. I have tons of free resources on my website as well. It is important to me that this information gets out to as many people as possible. And if you've gotten something out of the teaching I gave at the beginning here, or if you want something, or you just want to help me spread the importance of heart centering out further so we as a collective can move into a better experience, please share this video. Share this video, like, share, follow, do all that stuff. But help me get the word out about heart centering because I've seen it work miracles in my life. I wouldn't be so behind it if I hadn't seen the incredible stuff it has done for myself, for my clients, for friends that I've helped, or across a range. I've seen heart centering work in truly what we call miraculous because it's non-linear ways of operating, because that's how the heart works. It's not confined by the linear restrictions of the mind. So join us, check us out. Congratulations to our winners, and we'll see you next time.